You know what's wild?
What's that?
Cleveland just flipped the old Rust Belt narrative on its head once again, ranking higher in economic growth in cities like Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo.
Yeah, those tired old tropes don't really work anymore, do they?
They sure don't.
Let's take a look at the numbers.
Let's do it. So the Greater Cleveland Partnership just released their 2024 Midwest Growth Rankings, comparing Cleveland against 10 peer metros, and the results are pretty eye-opening. I mean, they ranked fourth in business growth with a 2% increase, and even more impressively, I think, landed third in income growth with a 4.7% jump.
Those are some solid numbers. So how does that compare to other major Midwest cities?
So in business growth, they were only trailing Columbus about 2.6%, Rochester at 2.8%, and Indianapolis at 3.5%. But what's really interesting, I think, is that their unemployment rate is sitting at 3.8%, which is the lowest in Ohio and fourth lowest in the entire Midwest.
That's quite a transformation.
Yeah.
But which sectors are driving this growth?
It's actually a pretty diverse mix. I mean, they're seeing strong performance in finance, insurance, real estate, manufacturing, healthcare, and the professional services.
Interesting.
But what I think is really cool is how they're modernizing these traditional industries through initiatives like NeoSmart, which is positioning Cleveland as a leader in advanced materials and manufacturing.
So we're building on the industrial heritage rather than trying to completely reinvent ourselves.
Exactly. And it's pretty fascinating that the local stock index, the Cleveland Index, which we've touched on here before, which is an index of 35 publicly traded companies, has been outperforming the S&P 500 since 2010.
Yeah.
And they've got this Cleveland Innovation District that's bringing together these healthcare institutions to advance medical technologies. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Impressive stuff, but surely there must be some challenges, right?
Yeah, right.
There always are.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's where there's an interesting paradox. While we are crushing it in business and income growth, Greater Cleveland only ranks sixth in jobs growth with a pretty small 0.4% increase.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not because there aren't jobs available.
Yeah, that does seem counterintuitive. So what exactly is going on there?
So we've got this massive $293 billion regional economy, right? With literally 36,000 job openings within 50 miles.
Yeah.
So the problem isn't the lack of jobs or that we're not creating jobs.
Okay.
It's that we're having a hard time finding people to fill these jobs. The population here has pretty much stayed flat while the economy has continued to grow.
Right. So how are they addressing the talent gap there?
So they launched this Cleveland Talent Alliance. It's already showing some promise.
That's good.
Yeah, they've increased college graduate retention from 47% in 2020 to 51% in 2024.
Nice. Okay.
Plus, there's heavy investment in quality of life improvements, like, of course, transforming the waterfronts, expanding amenities, really trying to make Cleveland more attractive as a place to live.
What I think is interesting about this approach is it shows that there's an understanding that economic development isn't just about business metrics,
Right.
benchmarks, et cetera.
Right. And when you look at the decade rankings from 2020 to 2024, you can see both the progress and the challenges. So, we're sixth in business growth and third in income growth over that period, but still 10th in job growth.
Right.
It really highlights, I think, the persistent challenge with population growth.
So how is success being measured in all of this?
They're being incredibly systematic about it, right? I mean, they're comparing themselves against specific peer cities, setting clear benchmarks, and being really transparent, I think, about both wins and challenges. So Beju Shah, who's the CEO of the Greater Cleveland Partnership, says that they need to consistently rank in the top 4 on all indicators to be considered a true top-tier Midwest city.
So looking ahead, what do you think are the key factors that will determine success in these goals and initiatives?
It really comes down to 3 things. Maintaining business growth momentum, successfully attracting more talent, and continuing to transform Cleveland's image.
Yeah.
So the foundations are there. We've got the jobs, the economic growth. Now we just need the people.
That makes a lot of sense, I think. We're not writing an entirely new book.
Yeah.
We're just writing a new chapter in Cleveland's story.
Yeah, exactly. And based on these numbers and all these initiatives, it really is shaping up to be a pretty exciting one, I think.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to become something entirely different. We're evolving and adapting and building on these traditional strengths while embracing new opportunities as they come along. And I think that's probably the smartest path forward for any city that's looking to reinvent itself.
And I think that's a good note to end on.
Sounds good. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to check the description and show notes for a link to the growth rankings. And we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone. The Clevelander is an unscripted podcast brought to you by the Greater Cleveland Partnership and created with the help of the latest in AI tools. To learn more, visit greatercle.com.